Welcome back. In the previous video, we saw Introduction to Microsoft Windows Server Operating Systems and Hyper-V, its new features. And we also saw the evaluation about the data center. In this section, we will learn exploring Nano Server and how it can be used as a Hyper-V host. In this section, we are going to take a look at Introduction to Nano Server, Nano Server roles and feature. Getting started with Nano Server, configuration, deployment, and management of a Nano Server. In the first video, we'll see Introduction to Nano Server. In this video, we will see what was the challenges, the issues before the Nano Server. And finally, we will see what is a Nano Server. So as we see, the issues were resource usage, reboots, large images, and security impacts. What do you mean by resource usage? It means that infrastructure requires too many resources. If the operating system consumes few resources, the VM density can be increased. If higher is the VM density, it lowers the cost and increases the efficiency and margins. In case of reboots, it might impact business. For example, if you patch a component, then reboot is needed, but it was never required. Also, when a reboot is required, the system needs to be back in service as soon as possible. In case of large images, there might be taken a long time to install and configure. Transferring images consumes too much network bandwidth. Storing images requires too much disk space. Regarding security impacts, we see there are lots of targeted cyber attacks. Hacker is in every server. Breaching has caused millions of credit cards to be affected. We see in Windows Server NT to Windows Server 2003, there were roles and features, and then Windows Server 2008 and Windows Server 2008 R2, there was a server core and full server option. Then in the Windows Server 2012 and Windows Server 2012 R2, there was a server core option, then there was a minimal server interface, and there was a GUI shell option. Only need required components with optimized server configuration. Here, the Nano Server comes in picture, which is a new deployment option in the Windows Server 2016. It's a new headless 64-bit only new deployment option in Windows Server 2016 that has been optimized for private clouds and data centers. It is similar to Windows Server in the server core mode, but significantly smaller, has no local logon capability, and only support 64-bit application, tools and agents. It takes up lesser disk space, sets up significantly faster, requires fewer updates, and restart faster than full Windows Server. The major difference between Nano Server and Server Core is that none of the roles and features are available in the image, as we get in Server Core and full server. In other words, when there is an addition or installation of additional roles and features with full Windows Server, it never prompts for the media. All the binary exists on the hard disk within the operating system, apart for the .NET Framework 3.5. In Nano Server, all the infrastructure roles live in a separate packages, so they can be added them to the image. In this case, the base Nano Server image will always stay very small. This is called as a zero footprint.